Okay, I really don't normally film right here, and it's not really my best spot to do, but I've got a few minutes left before I have to go, so I'm just going to make this quick video response one last time. It's going to be my last one for you. Of course, you obviously know why. From last night when I was making my points across to you, I said things about what I felt. I'm still not sorry for it. Now, I can understand from all that cussing and me saying that I wanted to defecate, that's still the fucking truth. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but that's the truth about what I feel of your content. But in this case right now, I'm going to be completely rational, completely civil, and completely just genuinely nice to you for this one video. So let me just explain a couple things right now, because I only have a couple percentage left, and my cat is right here. Say hi, monkey. Love you too, but can't be on my table. Okay. Now, I can congratulate you for admitting that you fucked up. Okay, that's a good step, and I do appreciate the fact that you took the time to admit that there are some flaws. But there's, however, though, some things I still need to point out. I'm not really going to reveal my uniform because it's basically work and I don't want that revealed. Now, there's still a couple of problems that I also need to address. When you told me on your video response to me that people who are harassing you, calling you names about the way you dress, your lifestyle, let me just tell you a little difference between what I get, what Nate Talks To You get, MDA, Take Shot Action. Let's just make a scenario here, and this is actually a real scenario, by the way. I made a video, it was a mistake video. I made a mistake of assuming something from PewDiePie, and I got a lot of dislikes for it, and I deserved it, which is the case. I got a lot of PewDiePie fan tarts still to this day who call me a jealous bitch, they hate my guts, they want me to die or something, suck some guy's dick. But the thing about it is that video is still up, and it keeps me reminded of, okay, I did something wrong here. Now, despite the fact that I actually fucked up on something, it's still to this day that people still cannot actually, the fan base itself, not in general, but just the certain types, that cannot take the hint. I told them I fucked up. They still want to bitch about it. That's their loss. Now, the difference, though, is that with Nate Talks To You, MDA, and all that, they receive tons of dislikes from rabid fans like that. So, in comparison or contrast from the video that you've made between people who gave their criticisms and those who were calling you names of your lifestyle and how you dress, and whether if it's the fact that you can actually control it or not, still, this is how it stands. You should know, obviously, between when people give their criticisms about you and when people decide to make fun of you, that these valid opinions and criticisms should not have to suffer, nor should they be dismissed because someone else calls you a name. Because I know for a fact that it's not only me, but a lot of people who I affiliate with, like Ranter and Shades, Nate Talks To You, Must Destroy All, Undertaker Freak 1127, they get that shit all the time. I'm not even well known either. But, you know what, that's fine. I still take shit like that all the fucking time. I still get that shit even to this day. Now, fair enough, I can understand that if people wanted to be jackasses and do that to you, well, that's their own fault. But I'm saying that their opinions should not have, the other people's opinions, like myself and others, should not have to suffer, nor should they be taken down on a video because someone else decides to make fun of your lifestyle or the way you dress. Now, being that this is going to be a little bit of a contradiction, because I know you kind of had an issue with Undertaker Freak 1127 about a comment that was removed. But for the people making fun of you, just blatantly insulting you on your lifestyle, there is technically a block button for a reason. Just want to point that out. Even though that is kind of a bit of a contradiction on your end, being that there is controversy going on between that sort of thing. just pointing that out. Now, the other thing that I also need to point out was the issue regarding some guy 827. And when I said that these things that you were saying were still kind of slanders, because if you cannot prove beyond that point of harassment of anything that actually has any police reports which kind of prove that Stevie or some guy 827 was harassing, then it's basically slander. And then you told in the video, and also from a user who had like a little Tom Train or something like that, told me that he was actually admitting destroying property. Now, even if that was the case, if he did destroy property, how does that relate to harassment? Because I can obviously assume, and by watching one of your videos, which was saying that some guy 827 is harassing Onision, does this actually connect any relevance to the video that was made about him actually destroying property? Because from what I'm looking at, those are two different scenarios. So I just want to make that very clear. Now, granted alone, and I'm just saying, if you have the video to this, I would sure like to see it. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do anything, but I still don't see how this actually has any relevance to do with between the feuds of Onision and some guy 827. I just really don't see how there's a connection there. Some guy 827 is still a very good friend of mine. To this day, he's a very cool dude, in just in my opinion. So I'm just saying that if you're going to be making connections, you need to be sure they're connected. That's all I'm saying. So, is there anything else I need to get off my mind at this point before I do that? Yes. One more thing I need to point out. When you said Skull Ripper decided to put your video on Facebook, still, there are consequences for your actions, and you should understand that when you start something, you know it's going to end in a couple ways. Civilly, or possibly in a bad way. Now, can't really hold Skull responsible for it, because from the beginning, your video is what caused this entire scenario to take its course. And that's all you're left with. And those are the three things that I just need you to think about. Okay? So, now just be clear about this. People's opinions should not have to suffer, nor should they be dismissed or taken down from the video because some people were harassing you or calling you names or making fun of how you dress. We get that shit all the time. Number two, when it comes to some guy 827's videos about Onision, despite whether people like it or dislike it to this day, depending on what he responds to, that's his own thing. And I still don't see how that connects to the destruction of property, because from the other way around, still, I don't really see how that connects to Onision. I would still like to see the video, though, so just, I don't know. And then third, like I said, you need to remember that you don't need to put blame on someone because they posted on Facebook. You know for a fact when you post a video on YouTube, it goes viral. Doesn't matter how huge of an audience, it still goes viral. It's for the whole entire world to see when you share it in public. So you cannot really hold someone responsible for sharing it on Facebook when you yourself post that video to begin with. I, for one, actually had personal friends mock me for what I did, and that was the consequences to my own actions. They posted my video on Facebook. I had to learn from it the hard way. I saw how people were, and I saw how two-faced people were, but that was me learning it the hard way. So, that's all the time I'm going to have for this, so I hope you really learned from something like this. And I know, and I'm not sorry for what I said in the previous video, so I want you to think about that. I still think that you need a lot of improvement. I still think that you need a lot of, planning ahead. But, hey, I'm just here to be rational and civil now. So, I'm not really that type of guy every day to say that, because that's not me behind the camera. This is me venting or telling you something. I'm ranting about something. I don't necessarily have to be angry about it, but this is me telling you what I feel. But anyways, enough of me stalling. Learn from it. You never know.